it's Lorraine from Pregnancy Exercise, and in today's session we're going to have a little look at pelvic tilts. Okay, so often you see on social media that people are prescribed or told about doing pelvic tilts. Do pelvic tilts. Pelvic tilts will help with your pelvic floor muscles. Pelvic tilts will help with your diastasis recti. Pelvic tilts will heal your diastasis, okay? So there's a lot of promotion and a lot of social media sites will give you pelvic tilts as an exercise to do both pre and postnatal. Some of you have also may have been to a physiotherapist to give you a pelvic tilt. So why do you do pelvic tilts? Are they going to heal your diastasis recti? Are they going to improve your pelvic floor muscle function? Or are they simply a waste of time? All right, so let me in on a little secret. I have never ever programmed pelvic tilts to heal a diastasis, ever. In any of our programs, the No More Mummy Tummy Challenge, the Birth to Fit Mum, do we do any pelvic floor tilting? And I'm going to explain that in a little bit more detail as we go through this short little workshop and session for you. Okay, so please, if you've got any questions, let me know and I will come and answer them shortly for you. Okay, so let's have a look at the only instance when I would prescribe a pelvic tilt. Okay, so you'll need to stand up for this. So a pelvic tilt, the only way I would give this to somebody is if somebody's really, really stuck in what we call a lumbar lordosis, so an extended lumbar lordosis, where they have too much of an anterior tilt. So to try and retrain them to come into a little bit more of a neutral pelvis and to not put any pressure, we would do pelvic tilts back into a somewhat neutral position, okay? So that's going to be, where am I in the video? So around about there, okay? But not to come completely and tuck under, because we don't want to do this. We want to avoid this. This is going into a flat back. Okay, so that's the only time that I would prescribe a pelvic tilt, is to start working on corrective posture. Or if someone is very, very stiff through their hips, okay? And then what I would probably do is get them to tilt on the ball, but then also to do both ranges, okay? So to go back the opposite way into that anterior tilt. So that's your anterior tilt, giving yourself more of a Donald Duck back. And this is your posterior tilt, flat back. And that's the exercise that you often see on social media, again, to heal your diastasis. Okay, so using the ball, and whilst we're in this position, okay, so we know from studies that your pelvic floor and transverse abdominals work best in an optimal neutral position. When we tilt the pelvis under, you can't connect with them as well, okay? So bear that in mind. When you're tucking under or tilting your pelvis, you cannot connect with your pelvic floor and transverse abdominal muscles as what you can in this position, okay? So is it starting to make a little bit more sense to you? Maybe your pelvic tilts are a little bit of a waste of time, okay? You could perhaps be doing another exercise that is going to have more benefit. So again, I'm going to come, I don't know if anybody watched how to connect your core muscles, all right, and doing your diastasis recti exercises correctly, because we did go through some of this as well. So what tends to happen, and again, which is poorly advised, is some trainers, okay, may get you to tilt to try and activate your core muscles. Now, what's going to happen in this position is your upper abdominals often come in, and plus, again, you're switching off those core muscles, or your brain can't connect to them as well when you're roughly in that neutral position. Okay, now everybody's neutral is a little bit different, but it certainly shouldn't be this, okay, and it shouldn't be the opposite on the anterior, okay? So let's just have a think about that. So if any of you have been tilting first before you leg slide, that's incorrect. You don't want to tilt before you lift up into a hip bridge, and you certainly don't just want to be doing this to try and heal your diastasis. It's not going to work, girls, okay? There's lots of other things we can do that are much more beneficial than you wasting time doing pelvic tilts. Oh, I can hear some news. Okay, everybody. So if you have any questions, please DM me. Let me know. Remember, you can jump online to all our pre and postnatal programs. With today's coupon code Coffee Chat, you can get a 20% discount on our programs. So go and check that out. And again,